Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Macon. Today I want to talk to you about our chalk paste. So our Chalkology paste is how you put the beautiful designs onto the boards. So you have your transfer and you squeegee your paste over top of the transfer in your desired colors to make the gorgeous designs that you're going to decorate your home with. Now there's two different ways that you can get yourself some paste. You can get one of our 3-ounce jars where it's obviously all the same color, or you can get these little 1.9-ounce single paste packs. Now these come in a box of either 10 or 12 depending on the color, and they are both available in all of our colors, including our shimmers. Now the jars have seasonal colors as well that currently aren't available in the singles, but your singles are great for if you need like an accent color. So for example, around Christmas time, a lot of people needed orange for the snowman's carrot nose, but a lot of people don't typically decorate in orange, so they grabbed some of these because when Halloween rolls back around, you'll want to use these. You'll want to use your orange singles for all of your pumpkins, but you don't want to necessarily have a whole jar of orange. Now I definitely recommend full jars for white, of course. We use white a lot. And probably for black, if you plan on using any of our white surfaces such as the Odette or the palette boards or canvas boards or even our box frames like that guy right there. So when you're picking out your colors, you try to remember that you're putting this, it's kind of the opposite of what we would do for paper. Paper is nice and white, so we can pretty much use any color, but white doesn't show up. And it's the exact opposite when you're doing a chalkboard. You have a black surface now, and that black surface needs brighter colors. So even beautiful dark purples like our Regal are really, really dark. They basically look like black on the board, and they're kind of hard to see, but they show up beautifully on the Odettes and the other white surfaces. So let's talk about mixing our colors. So sometimes there isn't exactly the right color. There isn't the perfect shade that you need available in the catalog, but you can totally mix colors. So you can mix this beautiful raspberry sorbet with white and get a slightly lighter hue. That's one of the wonderful things about this paste. It is, you can mix it all together. You can get exactly the color you need. You can use as much or as little, and I actually just mix it right on a paper plate so I can see exactly what I'm doing. We do have little paste trays as well that are great for doing just this as well. So now we've talked about the sizes of the paste and all the different colors. How about some tools? Because now we know that the paste is what goes on top of the transfers to give you your beautiful design. So, but we still have to get it to the transfer, right? So there is a variety of squeegees and little tools that I'm going to go through really quickly. These two are your go-tos, the mini squeegee and then the small squeegee. So the mini squeegee is great for smaller spaces and for little A-size transfers, which are these 5x7s here. When you try to use this mini squeegee on like a big 9x12, it kind of takes you too long. If you're going to do it all in one color, it'll take you way too long with a little mini. So go with your small squeegee. Sometimes I will do projects with both of these because there will be big spaces like on Cottontail Farms over here with the bunny. I did Cottontail Farms and the bunny all in white. So this one was my white squeegee, but I needed the orange for the carrots, so I used this guy. See what I mean? You kind of combo them together. I also like to keep quite a few squeegees on hand because if you're working in a project that has multiple colors, like this project or that project, you don't want to have to stop in between your colors and wash off your squeegee. That's just a craft killer. Kind of harshes your buzz. So make sure you have a few of these on hand. This guy, this angled squeegee, he shows up in the catalog. You're going to kind of check him out and you're going to go, oh, look at all the angles. He sucks. It is not as user-friendly as it looks. It's a little awkward. It is a nice, big, hunky, chunky squeegee if you have arthritis and have a hard time gripping small items with like your fingertips. If you need something you can grab, then this guy will do the job because there are still big surfaces. This surface, let's see, which one is it? So these two angles here are about the same size as your small squeegee. But he's a lot easier to hold onto if you need to kind of grab stuff. But for everyday use, he's really not all that useful if you have the ability to use your grippy fingers. So this guy, oh, the one thing I do like him for, because now I own him, so I'm gonna figure out how to use him. I actually like him for squeegeeing down the transfers, especially some of the bigger ones. Start from the top and go all the way down to the bottom to make sure that all the bubbles are out. So he's really good at squeegeeing out bubbles. But otherwise, ignore him. This guy, same idea. Not useful for every day. This is our 4-inch handled squeegee. Not useful for every day and really not even super useful for like 9x12s. However, it is an absolute necessity for like 12x18s and bigger, especially those 18x18s. Oh my God, they are not, if you are just starting out, do not start with an 18x18. They are big, they are unwieldy, and they just trust me. Once you do it a couple of times, then you'll be totally prepared for the 18x18. But you're going to need one of these because this is phenomenal for not only getting air bubbles out like the angled squeegee, but it's also great for actually putting color on to that 18x18 because even though it's bigger, we still need to work fast. So you put it on and you go to town. This does not fit in the jars. It is way too big to fit in the jar. So you need to combine it with one of these. Pull out your paste with this, dab it along the top, and then take your 4-inch and run it down. Okay? So now you know how to use the squeegees. But this guy, you need yourself one of these little multi-tools. This is one of the ones that comes in the Kickstart kit when you're looking at the Club Couture, the monthly subscription box. You'll get one of these if you get the Kickstart kit with the boards and the paste and all the stuff. This guy is invaluable. So this end is your little squeegee. He is great for finer details because he's even smaller than the mini. See that? So he's great for details, for little flowers and little things like that, which I also will cheat and use a stir stick to get into the tiny, tiny little areas. But this guy, this end is great for that. But what you really love it for is this weird end. It is not what you think it's for. Just because there's a little squeegee here, yes, you can totally do that if you need to. But this end fits in your jars. You put it in just like this, and you go all the way around to get all of the paste out of the corners. When you first get your paste, it's gonna look, well, it can come a few different ways. Sometimes it will come looking like kind of a hard rubber ball. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with it. You can totally fix it. All you need is a little water, and your multi-tool. Spray a little bit of water in there and then stir, 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 stir. It will come back to life. And that is exactly what this is for. Or it will come looking just like it's supposed to, which is, okay, here we go. See, you can kind of see there's some bubbles in there. We don't want bubbles in there. It's because I've been throwing it around. Because I talk with my hands. But we don't want bubbles in there. So when you first get your paste, you'll see there's some bubbles. It'll kind of look like cotton candy-ish. Maybe not cotton candy. Marshmallow fluff. That's the one. It'll look a little bit like marshmallow fluff. So you stick this in there and you stir, 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 stir. We want to get all of the air bubbles out so that your chalk doesn't dry out. That's all. Because people, this really is chalk. It is chalk that has been ground up and turned into a paste. So we need to keep it hydrated. There's a few different ways we can keep it hydrated. Now that I've explained to you why you're going to love this little guy, and that we just add a little bit of water to get it to the right consistency. So what's the right consistency? You want yogurt or sour cream kind of consistency. So we want something like this. So you can tell I use this one a lot. I have paste all over the top. This one, which you can't see at all, but see, we got a little kind of yogurt. It'll run a bit, but it globs. It doesn't just run off like it's water. And this one globs a little bit because there are globs in it, but that's okay too. So this is actually a good example of what you want your jars to look like. You want a clean lid when you're done so that you can put your lid on. Excuse me, you want a clean lip. So when you're done, you can put your lid on and it will seal down tight and not let air in. And if you get all of the paste off of the sides and have it down into the well, it'll keep everything nice and moist. Let's look at some that aren't so great. This guy here is pretty damn thick. Oh, that's really, really bright because of the light. But, okay, I didn't think that through. But it's really thick. It's not running at all. It's not moving at all. All that means is that it's possible that either the lid wasn't on super tight. I used it for a workshop, so maybe it didn't get put away properly. Who really knows? But it's okay, because when I'm ready to use this, I'll just give it a spray or two with my little bottle and mix, 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 mix. And then it'll come right back to life. And you just keep adding water in little bits, tiny little bits. That's why I like this, because it gives you a fine mist. See? You can't even see it because it's so... I tried. I was being cheap when I first started. I just got a regular old spray bottle. Don't get a regular old spray bottle. You don't have to buy this one, but get a fine mist sprayer, because you're going to spray into that jar of chalk and it's going to spray right back out if you don't get a fine mist one. Lesson learned. So find yourself a fine mist sprayer, or just do a couple little drip drops of distilled water. If you don't use distilled water, you run a chance of your chalk molding, because there's bacteria and organisms and things in water. Just is. So that's how you fix thick paste. Now this guy, this will happen too when you have paste that has been sitting around for a little while. This is one of my favorite colors, and consequently, because it's one of my favorite colors, I don't use it very often because I'm afraid that I'm going to use it all. But you can kind of see there's different... See, some of the pigment has leached out and is kind of giving us a tie-dye sort of effect. That's okay. That's completely normal. That's what happens when things sit around. Again, just mix, 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 and it'll be just fine. Now, I live in New York. I live in upstate New York, and it is extremely cold here, and our paste comes from Utah. So, like... anybody that lives in warm climates, they don't really like cold. Our chalk paste has water in it, so if it hits freezing temperatures, it will freeze. It's okay. You will get something that looks lumpy. Look at how lumpy and grody looking that is. But I am here to tell you that that is also okay. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to mix, 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 mix. Do not add water yet. just mix. If it's not mixing well when you first get it and it's a little lumpy, stick it in the microwave on like defrost for a few seconds, mix, and keep doing that. Just make sure that if you have one of the older jars with the foil lid, make sure all of the foil is off before you stick it in the microwave. It seems funny, but you don't always think about a foil lid as being metal. So this is still okay. This is the result of me mixing. But when I go to use it, when I load up my squeegee, it still looks terrible. But you squeegee it across and it comes out fine. There's no lumps. There's no weird spots on the color, on the transfer. When I pull it up, it's okay. So, our paste is extremely versatile. And we love it, right? It comes in all the gorgeous colors. And you can do so many different things with it. And don't forget, it's non-toxic and it's washable. I would not recommend eating it, but it's not going to hurt anybody. Like if you are chalking with your toddler and they decide to just lick their fingers because it looks like ketchup and not red chalk paste, they will be okay. So I would love to see and hear if you have any new tips or any different ideas or any questions about our chalk paste. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Jamie Macon, and have a lovely day.